Alright guys, we're going to start off by grinding our 45s. So just like flat grinding, we're going to just grind down to the line, establish something on an old 60 grit belt. Do this with an old one, you'll ruin a new one pretty quickly. And then we're going to swap out to a fresh 60 and grind right up to the lines. So I'll tilt you down and hopefully you can see this. I got the two cameras going, the new GoPro and everything, so learning how to use it, so hopefully I get everything. Alright, here we go guys. New camera, so I think I forgot to hit record, but all I did was get in there and grind out the 45-degree angles. This is the same for flat grinding. They don't have to be 100% perfect. You just get in there and go right up to that line and follow the shape of the blade just like that. I think I did get it on the GoPro, so you might have to watch that first bit with GoPro sound. Sorry about that. But here we go. That's the 45s. You can see they're not perfect. I might clean them up just a hair, and then we're going to switch over to a fresh 60 grit belt. But you can see went right up to the lines. Okay, so go right up to your lines. Don't go over them, and you should have a nice start. Now here's the thing with hollow grinding. We got our fresh 60 going on here. Here's the thing with hollow grinding. You can't just kick out the tail like you're flat grinding. So you can't just go up to it and pull the back out and kind of pull the nose in. Hollow grinds are going to want to follow the shape of the belly. So there's two ways to do this. How you ground in your 45s, you could just follow the shape of the belly like that and do that the whole grind. Keep in mind, pressure control is everything. Now, when doing it that way, I never had any luck. I was always kind of bad doing it that way. I just never got it. So I do a variation of the kick out the tail method. So I'm going to start off, I want my pressure up here on my left thumb. So I'm going to push forward right here. And as I get to the back, I'm going to switch pressure and push forward with my index finger. So almost a twist motion. This is how they do that hinder or slicer grind. It's a twist. So I'm going in there. I'll show you over here on the belt. All right, hopefully you can see that. Get in, and as soon as I get to that transition point of the nose or where the belly starts going up, I twist. If you go straight across, you're going to end up blowing out this line right here. This part of the belly is just going to be destroyed. So you certainly don't want that. Now, just like flat grinding again, let the steel tell you where to go. Let the steel tell you where to apply pressure. That's key here. If you see you're thinning out way too much here, press back here instead. And the same thing, if you're thinning out at the heel, make the grind go up. Once you have established a hollow, you'll feel the blade lock in place, and it gets significantly easier after that. So I'll zoom you in a little bit. Hopefully you got some of that footage. I hope. I guess. All right, so you're zoomed in. You can see everything. There we go. And we got the GoPro still rolling. So now I'm just going to touch up those 45s, and I'll show you what it looks like in practice. Okay, we're just going to, if you're looking down on the grinder, I'm on the 45 right now. I'm just going to ease off that angle just a little bit and establish a hollow. See, I'm just going to put pressure on the spine. It's almost like a 60-40 split. So 60% pressure down here, 40% pressure on my thumb. I'm just going to kind of rock it back into the wheel, just like that. Starting to go up. Okay, you can see at this point, we're starting to establish a hollow, and you'll feel the blade lock in. Now you just want to make sure you don't let that hollow come down here. So you want to put your pressure towards the spine. Like I said, 60-40 split, maybe even 70-30. So 70% pressure with your index finger, 30% pressure with your thumb. Don't let it go past that scribe line. Now, as you can see, my twist method there, so pressure forward here on the heel and twist it back, is leaving me a little bit of a facet right there towards the belly. So to correct that, I'm going to apply a little forward pressure right there. Don't go bananas, no gorilla force, no none of that. Just ease into it, let the belt do the cutting, and you'll be fine. So we're going to completely grind out one side, and then we're going to flip over and do the other. See what I mean? That little facet's gone. I moved it up the grind. So I put a little pressure towards the belly, and now it's right there. You see the line? See where the light hits it? Now I'm just going to continue bringing that up until the rest of the grind is even. See, we're starting to get matching our scribe line as far as the angle of the grind. I'm putting a little bit too much pressure down here. I need to put it more towards the spine because this grind is smaller than this grind. So I want to bring this one up. So I'm going to put some pressure at the heel and establish a nice tall plunge. See? Bringing it up like a happy face. You see that? Just don't overshoot your grind line and you'll be fine. Now I'm going to take that happy face right there, and I'm just going to even this part out and make it even with this grind. see? Little pressure where I want the grind to go, and it'll walk right up the steel, going nice and slow. I'm about 40% power on the grinder right now. But if you have a single speed, this works too. Just watch your heat. Hollow grinds get hotter faster than a flat grind. So make sure you're constantly dipping it in water, especially for a heat-treated blade. See, now I'm repeating the process. See how this grind is getting a little higher? Now, the beauty of doing it this way, let me stop this so you can hear. The beauty of doing it this way is I don't necessarily have to follow that belly. Because it's a big wheel, if I do a little bit of rocking motion and controlling my pressure, I can make a hollow slicer grind if I want to and just have a straight line go up like that instead of just following this curve. You see what I mean? I could dictate where I want the curve to start. Now that's getting a little more advanced than this tutorial, but that's why I like doing the twist method. You just have to make sure, because right here at the edge of the belly is a problem spot for this method. Now, of course you could do it this way and follow the belly, like I said, but I prefer to do the twist. Isn't that a dance? Alright, enough stupid jokes. Back to grinding. Okay, I just made a mistake, but that's okay. If you do that, see how I just got lost focus for a second? I hopped up the wheel and boom, went right up to the line and gave myself a nice big facet right in the middle. Don't worry about it. This can still be corrected because it's underneath the grind line. So all I have to do is work around it and just keep grinding everything else around it, and that'll come right out. So I'll show you that. Okay, see all that's left of that big gouge I made? It's just that little eep. That's it. Because learning your pressure control, just like in the flat grinding video, and I know I keep referring to that, don't mean to beat a dead horse, but it really is the key to making mistakes, solving mistakes, and getting a nice clean grind freehand. So as you can see, what did that take me? All of 30 seconds to make that big mistake go away. So if you make a big mistake, don't worry about it, just keep going. And as you can see, we're approaching that grind. We're getting really close to that. That's okay if we touch it, I just don't want to go much higher than that. As you can see, I also have to work on this tip. So my pressure back here is going to have to increase significantly, and I might do a variation of a little bit of follow the belly and a little bit of the twist, and that'll give me the angle that I want. Now you have to kind of play with it and see what suits you best, but that's going to be the way I do it. Now if you notice what I just did there is I didn't even grind any of this. I could always blend that in later. And you see the different scratch pattern. You see that? But that brought me up nice and close to the line. So I did just hogged out most of the material, and now I'll just go back and blend that all in. Remember, at your 60 grit stage is when you want everything perfectly flat. Do not try to cut and shape with fine belts. This is your time to cut and shape. Okay, as you can see, from the 60 grit stage, we are right up to the line. Ekim kind of flakes off a little bit when you get close with the belt, but it is nice and straight. There you go, now you can see it. Right up to the line. I could come up a hair right here at the tip, but I'm not going to bother. I'm going to call that good for now. So, now I just got to flip it over and do the same thing for the other side. All the same rules apply. There's no sense in making you sit through the other side, but that's the basics. That's how you hollow grind a knife. At least that's how I hollow grind a knife. Now you can see I have a bit of a facet right there. Where's that water? Maybe a tiny bit of facet. I think it's water though. Yeah, a tiny one. So I'll just go put some pressure there and zip that right out. Now remember, when making a mistake, little corrections work up to the mistake. Let me zoom you out. Do a proper close of the video. We'll stop this GoPro too. Yeah, I'm not going to make you sit through another 20 minutes of the same thing. Whoop, whoop. There we go. Alright, you know what? Let's do it this way. I'll just hold you. So, anyway, that's the hollow grind. You see, we're still nice and close to that. We didn't go over our scribe line. We're right up to it. No thinning out at the tip, no thinning out at the heel. It's a nice consistent angle. Very limited amount of facets that I could just go and just touch very briefly and it'll be totally fine. And we followed our line right down to the letter. So I'll do the other side later. But yeah, the biggest thing, guys, is if you make a mistake, don't panic, don't freak out, don't overcorrect. Just, I think the saying is for MotoGP is slow hands equals a fast rider. It's the same thing with knife grinding. If you have slow, controlled movements, that'll translate into better results on the grinder. Don't overcompensate, don't overdo it, don't put guerrilla force into anything, let the belts do the work for you. That's why we use belts like they're free. But hopefully that made some sense. I gave you some tips. If you have any questions, pop them down below. I'll be glad to answer them for you. But this is Mike from Ekim Knives. I'll catch you on the next video.